Hello students, today we're doing lesson 6.5 and this is adding and subtracting unlike denominators. So in our last class period we learned how to add and subtract with like denominators. Now we're going to have unlike denominators and we're going to turn them into like denominators so they will be just like the ones you learned previously. So first of all, we have 4 things that you have to do when you're adding and subtracting unlike denominators. So the first thing we need to do is find the LCM. So we did this in the last chapter. And remember, LCM stands for least common multiple. So we're going to find the least common multiple for the denominators. Okay. And then number 2, we're going to rename the fraction. We also did this in the last chapter, so it shouldn't be anything new for you. But these are just the steps you have to do in case you haven't done fractions in a while. This will help you remember what to do. Okay, number 3, we're going to add or subtract the like denominators. That kind of sounds funny. That's the way the book has written it. You're not going to add or subtract the denominators. You're going to add and subtract the fractions with the new denominators. So let's write on here, add or subtract numerators. And then you're going to keep the denominators the same. Okay. So I'm not going to write that all out. I'm just doing this kind of short. And then number 4 is put it into lowest terms, which this should always be your last step. No one should be leaving them without simplifying. Okay, so we have three problems that we're going to do on unlike denominators, and then you should be able to go ahead and do this on your own. Okay, so example 1. And remember, we're going to go through all 4 of these things right here, and I'm going to kind of check them off as we do them. So example 1 says 5/8 plus 2/3. Okay, so when you get your problem, a lot of time in books, on worksheet, this is what it looks like. Is they're writing the fractions out horizontally, and it's easiest to do them up and down when you're trying to find common denominators. So I'm going to rewrite it over here, 5/8 plus 2/3, and I'm going to kind of write it a little bit bigger so that y'all can see. Okay, so now we're going to find the common denominator for 8 and 3, or the LCM for 8 and 3. If you forgot how to do that, LCM is the least common multiple, so that means you're going to write the multiples of each number. So if I were going to do that off to the side, a lot of y'all can just find that in your head or using your multiplication chart, but what you would do is look on your multiplication charts at the 8 row and the 3 row. So 8, it would be 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. Okay, I'm going to stop right there because that's 5 of them. 3 is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Now, that's 5 of them for the 3, but when I look up, none of them match. So I'm going to keep going until something matches. 18 doesn't match. 3 more is 21. That doesn't match. Okay, 24 is where they match. So 24 is going to be my new common denominator. So underneath, I'm going to put an equal sign. And then I'm going to make both of these denominators 24. So now we did problems just like this part right here. We did problems like that in the last one. Remember, we're trying to find that missing spot. So this is the same thing that we did there. If I say 8 times 3 is 24, so up here I need to do 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, down here I do 3 times 8 is 24, so 2 times 8 is 16. And now I'm going to add just my new, so right here I found the LCM. Sorry, I meant to do this. Then I renamed the fraction. That's what I just did here, where I changed 5/8 into 15/24. That's renaming the fraction. Now I'm going to add and subtract my denominators. So 15 plus 16 is 31. And then I have over 24. Okay, and now I've done add and subtract my numerators. And now I need to put this into lowest terms. Let me erase that arrow. Okay, so how do I put this into lowest terms? the top is bigger than the bottom, so that makes it improper, and I need to make it into a mixed number. So I say 24 goes into 31 one time. How many are left over? 7, and 24 stays on the bottom. Then I need to check again and see if I can simplify this anymore, if there's any numbers that can go into 7 and 24, and there are not, so that's my final answer. Okay, let's do 2 more like this so that you can get some practice. Okay, I think on the third one, I'll have y'all try it on your own, but let's do another one together, and then y'all could do the last one on your own. Okay, example 2 is 8/10, and in the book, it shows it written horizontally, but I'm going to go ahead and put it up and down. So 8/10 minus 4/15. Okay, so first thing I need to do is find a common denominator. Okay, so my common denominator for 10 and 15, if you don't know how to do that in your head, list out 10s like you're skip counting and list out 15s. Okay, and then find the least one where they're in common, and that's 30. So 30 is going to go on the bottom of my fraction. Okay, if I'm going too fast, hit pause, rewind, and listen to it again. Okay, so now I have that missing spot. Remember, this is like we did before the Christmas breaks. We did these kind of problems. So we're going to fill in this missing spot up here. So 10 times 3 is 30. So 8 times 3 is 24. And then down here, 15 times 2 is 30. So 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, and now we're going to subtract our numerators only. The denominator always stays the same when you're adding or subtracting. Okay, so 24 minus 8 is going to give me 16. So I have 16 over 30, and I need to simplify that. So what you ask yourself when you're looking at this answer right here is, what number can those both be divided by? So I can see right away that they're both even numbers, so they can be divided by 2. So I get 8 over 15. And then always ask yourself again, can I divide by anything else? Can both these numbers be divided by the same number? And the answer to that one is no. So this is my final answer, is 8/15. Okay, example 3, I want y'all to do on your own, but I'm going to start it with you, okay? Because it is a little bit different than the other ones. Okay, so on example 3, we have 5/6 plus 3/4 plus 1/2. So I have 3 numbers here, and I'm still going to do it the same way. I have a 6, a 4, and a 2. So over here, or you could just look down your multiplication chart, is I'm going to list all the 6s, okay, and then, or at least 4 or 5 of them, and then list all your 4s for 8, 12, 16. Okay, I already see one in common, 12, but then I have to add in my last one, this 1/2, so I need to do 2s. So 2 is 2, 4, 6, 8. Now see, some of these match here, like 4 and 8, and even the 6 with that one, but it needs to match all 3. So the number that matches all 3 is 12. So that's going to be your common denominator. So now I want you to do this one on your own. Okay, so hit pause, do it on your own, then come back and hit play, and let's see if you get the right answer. So go ahead and hit pause now and work it out. Okay, you should be back now. So I already gave you the common denominator. I showed you how to do it for 3, which is the same way you do it for 2 of them, but you have 3 numbers that you're trying to match up. Okay, so my common denominator was 12. So on the first one, that's 6 times 2 is 12. So 5 times 2 is 10. Down here, 4 times 3 is 12. So 3 times 3 is 9. And then the last one, 2 times 6 is 12. So 1 times 6 is 6. And now I'm going to add up all these numerators, okay? And remember, my denominator always stays the same, whether it's 3 of them, 4 of them, 2 of them. The denominator stays the same when you're adding and subtracting. Okay, so when I add up my numerators, I get 10 plus 9 is 19, plus another 6 is 25. So now I need to simplify. So I say 12 goes into 25 how many times? 2 times. That's your big number. We did this where we changed improper into mixed just the other day. Okay, so 12 goes into 25 2 times. How many are left over? Just 1. And the bottom stays the same. And that's the end. If you have a 1 on top, you can't simplify anymore. So 1 can't go any lower in fractions. Like you're not going to divide by anything to make it 0. Okay, so there's my answer, 2 and 1/12. So now you're ready to do the problems that were assigned to you. And then there will be another lesson for the next one, 6.6. And I'll have that up for you if you're doing both of these lessons on the same day.